Good evening. Much like one of the protests that happened here today, the one on Tuesday started at Curtis Hickson Park. That one lasted well into the night. And when all said and done, police ended up arresting almost 70 people they say would not disperse when they were told to. But two people that I talked to who were out here that night say the police department was the one being aggressive. Timothy Watson documented Tuesday night's downtown Tampa protest for nearly an hour and a half on Facebook Live. But it's the final couple of minutes that he says tell the real story of what happened between protesters and police.
They gave us a dispersal, a 3-minute dispersal, and at that time, the 3-minute dispersal, people started to, leave the area.
Watson spoke at his attorney's office today. He told me the protest was calm until officers gave that order to disperse.
Before anybody could even get there, we were ambushed. It was essentially an ambush by the Tampa Police Department. First thing they did to say everyone get down, started shooting.
And Watson and 67 others ended up getting taken into custody, including Lorenz Johnson, a minister and musician and teacher in Tampa.
Okay, they're not letting us out, y'all.
His Facebook video shows him trying to leave and running from police before he was taken into custody.
Basically lured us into the intersection, I believe, of Pierce and Morgan. And then once we got there, we were completely surrounded. They came rushing at us from every angle. And then next thing you know, we have tear gas flying. We have gunshots being heard.
They shooting at us, y'all.
What Watson and Johnson say happened is in stark contrast to what Tampa Police Chief Dugan says happened during a news conference he held on Wednesday. He claims the protesters with ill intent scattered rocks and mortars throughout downtown to hurl at police. Chief Dugan told 8 Under Side he regrets how it all turned out, but stands by why he did it.
It's not our shining moment as a city, but we're going to work through this thing, and I get their frustration, and I'm equally as frustrated.
Community activist Elvis Piggott tells me that he suspects there's a reason things ended so badly.
What it looks like is if the officers get tired, that's when the protests stop. What time frame do you have to protest?
But why not just give them a citation on scene and let them go? Why haul them off to jail where some, like Watson and Johnson, say they spent 12 hours?
The problem is that the reason they were arrested is because they wouldn't leave. So then do we give them a notice to appear and then they still don't leave? So it just compounds the issue.
Johnson says they were trying to.
Took off running, and I made it about 4 or 5 blocks away to Franklin Street, and they literally chased me down to Franklin Street to apprehend me.
In the end, some of those charges could be dropped. That's up to the state attorney's office. Lorenz Johnson tells me he met with the mayor and he met with the police chief, and they are promising to look for ways to bridge the gap between these young protesters and the police department. Also, Hillsborough County's black elected officials released a statement today saying they strongly condemn any action against peaceful protesters. In downtown Tampa, Rod Carter, 8 on your side.